How's it going, everybody? EastPhilly here. Today I just wanted to show a new helmet I got, the HJC FG17. Now originally I wasn't going to get a new helmet. I kind of wanted to save money, and I was looking at a few different helmets that I wanted to get over this. But this was on sale for $100 on Redzilla, and I figured I'm not really going to get this level of helmet at any better price than that, so I figured I would just buy it. This helmet is a bit different than the IS-17 that I had. The IS-17 was an HJC, but it had an integrated sunscreen that had a lever up top, and you could pull the lever down, and that would put a dark tinted sunscreen down. It also had different type of lever for the vents, where this one has controllable vents up top for each side. The IS-17 only had one. The original helmet I had, the IS-17, had a polycarbonate composite shell, which is pretty good. Keeps everything good. It's only DOT approved. This new one has a fiberglass and Kevlar matrix shell, making it pretty light. As you can see, I haven't even really opened it yet. I just tried it on. But it is Snell approved, DOT approved, FMVSS number 218 certified. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to assume it's fancy and good. And the big thing I really want to talk about with all this, since I haven't even got to wear it yet to give a real review, is I do not like this color scheme. Now you're going to ask, EastPhilly, if you don't like the color scheme, why would you buy this helmet if you don't like it at all? I figured it's $100. Can't really beat that for a Kevlar composite and what else? Fiberglass shell. It's very light. It's more aerodynamic. The shape is better for my head. The IS-17 kept putting marks across my forehead. And what I'm decided to do is I'm going to strip it out, take this out, tape it all off, and Plastidip it. So you've all seen my bike. It is the 2016 Yamaha FZ07 in what they call their Night Flow or Night Fluorescent. It is a battleship type of gray with fluorescent highlights. So I figured this one, which is actually called Gunmetal Gray, in there. I actually like how it looks. I'll show you how that looks in a second. Here is the gunmetal gray on my Ruger 1022, and do a great job. So it's peeling a little bit, but you can see it should come out with a darkish gray, but in the light it's not too dark, but it's not too light. Should be a good little fit, and I think that'll look great for the helmet. So one of the main things we got to do is take everything off. These visors come off pretty easily. I'm going to have to tape off all around the edges here. I'm going to have to close all the vents, and if I can, I'm going to try to get some tape in there. I'm going to take all the padding out, and I got to take the padding out to put my Sena Bluetooth system in here anyway. I'm going to see if I can make that fit a bit better, and I actually might buy new internals for that because I think some of my cabling got wet or frayed or something, and it's just the right audio in it isn't really working too well. And I don't want to lose these this time because I lost one on my old helmet. So here everything is all masked off. My card decided to fill up when I was talking about masking it off. One thing that I do want to say is just anything you're going to permanently affix to the helmet, you want to put that on before you Plastidip, because Plastidip will create a layer over the paint, and the Plastidip can easily peel off, and you don't want this peeling off with the paint while you're riding, because you'll just lose your whole camera. So make sure these are on before you paint or Plastidip or anything, so that this is connected directly to the helmet and not whatever coating is over the helmet. So everything is taped off now. You taped off the DOT Snell area. I don't know how it's going to turn out. If it turns out crappy, Feast you can peel it off, Plastidipped you can peel off, but we're going to get started. I know everyone's saying you're in an enclosed space. I had the window open, and I'll be wearing this 3M mask. Not going to help a whole lot, but it'll be better than nothing. One of the biggest mistakes people make with Plastidipped is the first couple coats. You don't want to have a thick layer on the first coat. You actually want it to be really thin, and you want to do it pretty far. And if you look at your camera, the rule of thumb for the first coat that I always went by was you still want to be able to see about 75% of the original paint or more. So that's the first coat. Let that dry for about 15 minutes, and then we do the second coat. And now it's time for coat 2. Just like the first coat, you don't want to spray it on heavy, but this time we're only going to be seeing maybe about halfway through to the original paint. So you see them a little bit closer, and I'm going a little bit slower when I do these passes. And what this does is it creates a nice fine base. Plastidipped, when you spray it, actually liquefies the Plastidipped under it. So when you do coats like this, it liquefies the smaller particles and actually creates a nice base for it all to spray on, and it helps it stick better. A lot of people just go right into it and they start spraying super heavy coats, and it doesn't give a nice solid flat base to really stick to itself. And then the more coats you do, the thicker it is and the harder it is to scratch and create a starting peel, but the easier it is to peel off if you ever want to just get rid of it. That's coat number 2. You can still see about 50% of the paint. Coat 3 will be 75%. Coat 4 will be a full coat, and then I'll probably do a 5th and a 6th coat. So this is coat 3. This one, you're not going to really be able to see too much of the original paint left. See, I'm going slower with closer strokes and kind of a little bit closer in general. It's hard to do this both hands full, but I make do. And you see that since the first spray I'm using the handle with this now, it just makes it a lot easier to get kind of more even strokes and get a better grip on the can in general. And I'm doing pretty much everything in quarters, maybe fifths. I'm kind of just turning it, I'd say about a fifth of a revolution so that I overlap with what I had just previously done. That way everything kind of gets a nice even coat. And when I do streaks, I'm kind of hitting the halfway down, so I'm getting a little bit of overlap that way as well. You don't want to stay too long in an area or you're going to get a little bit of dripping. And you definitely don't want that, because that will show up pretty easily. that? I'm probably not gonna be able to finish this tonight. Seems like I'm really low on the dip in this can. I might get my last coat on, and then I'll probably have to wait till tomorrow and do the last 2 coats. So this will be the 4th coat. It's just going to be a full layer. I'll probably fast forward through it just because I'm not going to talk. You can see, compared to other parts, you can't barely see the white lines in there. So I'm not going to do a full 100% coating of Plastidipped, just because I do plan on doing more coats. I didn't cover it all. So that's the end of the 4th coat. That'll be the first full coat. And you can see that it's pretty full. The 5th and 6th coat will also be full coats, but they'll be sprayed probably a little quicker. You can see, I don't know if you can see that, it's all a little thick right now, but as it dries it tends to flatten out. So when I do the 5th and 6th coats, it'll be more dusted and it'll wind up being real flat at the end. I did 6 coats of the gunmetal gray, and when you do coats you have to leave it wet when you peel the tape. So you can see I left the dot and the snow visible, and this is actually the most common failure point that's going to happen, is where the Plastidipped ends at a hard edge. So what I'm going to do with all this after the 6 coats of actual Plastidipped is I'm going to use this glossifier. And what this is, it's going to do a glossy finish. It doesn't work real well, but I figured that I would do this when I do my, what is it going to be, 7th and 8th coats. That way I get a little bit of Plastidipped over those edges, and it kind of seals that in. On my 8th coat, I'll start taking all the tape off, and you got to kind of do it quick. You can spray a little bit on there while you're doing it, just to keep it wet, but you do need it to be wet when you take the tape off. If you let it dry first and you go to take the tape off, all the little particles kind of stick together and it won't work as well. It'll actually start peeling what you don't want to peel off. Stuff like this with hard edges, that's actually kind of easy to peel off if you need to, but all these pieces you kind of want to make sure everything's wet when you do it. So on the 8th coat, I'll start taking everything off. At this point is when you want to start getting everything off without messing up the paint itself or the dip. You want to be very, very careful. If I remember correctly, everything was polished into those layers, so I've done hard, since you want to get very fine in this. So I have to work. They've been wide nose, and really want to get fine in there. You can see I didn't do the best job of taping it off correctly. I kind of taped off too high. But that is fixable. And we'll do that right now since we have that area there. And the top is still taped off. You just want to get the tape along the edge and cover it. There's really nothing else there. Get it flat so you get the most area open. Take some dip. And since there was a bit of dip on there, you can layer that on. Now we'll put dip over the glossifier, but the glossifier really didn't do too much. So if you want, you can let it stand for 10 minutes and then do more glossifier. So we're going to do that. It looks pretty good. See, like under there, didn't really get it too great. That's okay. I just really wanted to keep the sticker showing because of legal reasons. Not too worried about that. But beyond that, everything looks pretty good. It's a day later, everything is dry, and I'm going to do some finishing touches. What I'm going to do, there's a couple spots I'm worried about, especially parts like here, and some things around the face area where I'm normally like grabbing with my hand or messing with the camera that weren't painted greatly. They don't have good lines. So I'm going to take a little bit of this super glue. But tiny dabs. Everything is back together. Just have this here. I'm going to put all the pads back into it. Just letting the super glue dry a little bit. There's still some rough spots I'm going to touch up. But I think it came out pretty nice. See it in the better light. It's not too dark, not too light. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm going to fix up some spots after putting the pads in, but I think it looks pretty cool. And I know some people are going to ask about my nice little helmet stand. I was actually given this to put under my leg when I got the screws taken out of the rod in my leg. So probably like a $1,500 helmet holder right there. So here you can see the two helmets, the HAC IS-17. This is the one that had the internal sunscreen that stopped kind of working in matte black. And this is the HAC FG-17. FG stands for fiberglass. It's a fiberglass Kevlar blend like we talked about before. I had the clear shield for it. I had the tinted shield for this and it wound up wiping away. And honestly, I wound up using the clear one, or the clear space. I kind of like it now, so I'm not going to worry about changing that out anytime soon. With everything done, we got this GoPro mount on there. We got the Sena mount on there. I'm pretty sure that's where I usually have it. The microphone set up in here, I think. Yep, that's in there. I just have to find the windscreen for it. And I have my chin curtain. I don't think that's actually made for it. I don't know if you actually heard anything I said, but mounts are on. The chin curtain from the other bike helmet is on there, which isn't really made for it. I just kind of threw it in there. I'm going to have to see how the boom mic is. I didn't use the boom mic last time, but I need to find the windscreen for it. That's in there pretty good. And I still got to put the visor on, and then it's complete. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. And if you did dislike it, please let me know in the comments why, so I can make this channel better for both you and me. I'm EastPhilly, and I'll see you all next time.